An NFL insider just revealed a major Cowboys trade update on Bengals defensive edge rusher Trey Hendrickson, who will be available at the deadline. We'll talk about the latest reports behind Hendrickson and why he would be a perfect fit in Dallas, all right here on today's show. Welcome in to each and every single one of you. I'm Jace Andrews. I appreciate you tuning in to today's show. Got lots to talk about on the Trey Hendrickson trade front. Before that, though, I want to remind you to hit that subscribe button if you are part of the 76% of people who watch these videos but are not yet subscribed. I'd recommend you do that now because with the trade deadline coming up, as soon as a trade happens, we're going to have a video out. I want you to be in the know. And if you're new here, well, also hit that subscribe button for daily Cowboys coverage throughout the entirety of this season. We go to the report Sleeper NFL has per Tony Pauline, who says, quote, the 49ers, Colts, Eagles, and Cowboys are all in the market for Trey Hendrickson, who should be available at the NFL deadline, which again is November 4th. Hendrickson has been a top target for the Dallas Cowboys since you traded away Micah Parsons. But the difference in Trey Hendrickson is he's not going to cost $40 million a year. In fact, he's a little bit older. However, he has just as many sacks. I'd argue that he's playing better right now than what Micah is doing in Green Bay, and he's getting paid about $40 million to do so. He is a little bit on the older side. He'll be 31 in just a little bit. And throughout 6 games, 4 sacks, obviously did not play in last night's contest versus the Steelers. That all to be said, he's a good fit. And for the Cowboys, whose defense is struggling, if you can add a guy who has not only been really one of the best defensive edge rushers in the NFL, but one of the sack leaders throughout the NFL over the past couple of seasons, that's going to help your defense. I don't care what you say. I don't care if that's not the reason this defense is, doing poorly. Adding Trey Hendrickson will improve your defense overall because of the pressure that will then be put on the quarterback. And you're talking about how good Kenny Clark has looked. I know that Matt Eberflus has got something in his head because obviously James Houston is doing great, but he's not getting the snap count that I believe he should. But Trey Hendrickson would come in here. He'd be a force to be reckoned with right away. 17.5 sacks in both 2024 and 2023. 4 sacks throughout the first 6 games of this season. Obviously has been dealing with some injuries as well, so a little bit on that front. But 8 sacks, 14 sacks, 13.5. I mean, this guy has been a reputable force in the National Football League for honestly past, 10 years almost to this point. So adding him at the trade deadline would be the splash. The big question for Jerry Jones, the big question for the Cowboys organization, is it worth it? Is it worth it because he's going to cost a decent amount? Now, what will he cost? Well, that's kind of what I want to kind of switch this report into now. So, we know that Micah Parsons went for 2 first-round picks. Obviously, you got Kenny Clark back as well. Micah got his deal in Green Bay, which it's not really a part of a situation like this. But what does Trey Hendrickson worth? Well, I think it might be a little less than you think because specifically, it looks like he's going to be available at the deadline. Josh Sanchez kind of going back to this report from Tony Pauline saying the Cowboys will be in the market for Hendricks if they are in a strong position entering November. So right now, the Cowboys, I would doubt they're in a fully strong position to believe, if we get Trey Hendrickson, we're a playoff team. I don't know about that, but I do know is that they are not doing well in the defensive department. Now, I know this is total yards, and we can go into rushing and maybe be different, but Kenny Clark is holding down there. I'm looking at total yards. You are the worst defense in the NFL. You are allowing over 30 points per game, which is the most in the NFL. This is not a good defense. This is not even remotely good at all. And in my mind, you can talk about, maybe we need another running back. Maybe the backup running back would help. Anything on offense is a cherry on top. Everything on defense is building a foundation because there's nothing there. There's nothing. Whether you want to say it's the scheme issues, whether you want to say it's the players, it doesn't really matter. It's all whatever at this point. But I do know that this would be a huge thing. So what exactly would the Cowboys want to give up? What exactly would the Bengals expect? / what would their competition be able to give up? Josh Sanchez of Dallas Cowboys SI kind of mentions this saying, quote, the Cowboys do have a pair of first-round picks, but would Jerry be willing to be that aggressive if that's what it takes to bolster the pass rush? Only time will tell, but it's something the team has to consider given its current circumstances. I don't know if a first-round pick is worth it for Trey Hendrickson. He's on a 1-year deal. You are going to have to sign him to a bigger contract. And yes, he would improve your pass rush right away. And you're in the lower part of the league in terms of sacks. A first-round pick is a lot, though. When you think about the future assets the Cowboys have, when you think about the team the Cowboys have at this current moment, and with 4 first-round picks over the next 2 years, what they could be able to bring in with that. The question, and Jerry Jones said that, and I don't know if maybe I'm finally coming to terms that he's the owner and maybe brainwashing me, but he's right. What if you drafted a Trey Hendrickson? Now, he can't be that right away, but the point being is this. If Trey Hendrickson does get traded over, you're going to have to pay him. Because if you trade a first-round pick, that means you're getting an extension done. There's no ifs, ands, or buts about it. You cannot give up a first-round pick and then immediately not pursue him for a longer term. So you're probably asking, okay, well, what exactly are the picks that the Cowboys have? Well, here are the top Cowboys draft picks for the 2026, let's say, like, draft class. They've got 2 first-round picks, obviously one of those being Green Bay. They have a second-round pick. They do not have a third-round pick because that was included in the trade for George Pickens. And then they have a 4th-round pick as well. So these are just the top draft picks. They have a 5th and then the 7th, all that stuff. But still, the point being, this is what you can have for this year. If I am Jerry Jones, I look at this very heavily and say, is a first-round pick worth it? Is a first-round pick? But I'm not Jerry Jones. Neither are you. But let's ask the question. Would you give up a first-round pick for Trey Hendrickson? If you would, then I want you to type Y for yes. If you would not, then I want you to type in for no. Let me know your thoughts down in the comment section. Personally, I hinge on the fact that you get him to a contract extension. Let's say we go about this. The Cowboys are able to trade for Trey Hendrickson, and it cost them a first-round pick and a 6th round, something dumb, something on the back end that's not crazy bad. I need an extension done for that to be worth it. If you get him for a 2nd-round pick, if you get him for anything less than a first, I can be okay with this maybe being a rental option. I think in any world, whoever trades for him, you'd like to get the extension done. That was kind of the principles behind the Micah Parsons extension in Green Bay, was that whoever he got traded to, if he was going to get traded, was going to get the extension done. And that's kind of what happened. So for a guy in Trey Hendrickson who is putting up stats after stats after stats, year after year after year, I don't know what the Bengals are going to ask, because in a lot of ways, if I go back to the teams that are in the market, the 49ers, the Colts, the Eagles, and the Cowboys, the 49ers, Colts, and Eagles, their first-round picks, it's not going to be as high as the Cowboys, at least as of right now. Now, that could change, and the Cowboys are, I think they can really turn this season around over the next couple weeks. But the 49ers are in a decent spot. Colts are in a good spot. Eagles are in a good spot. I think if you look at this from the widespread angle, the Cowboys' first-round pick would be better than any of these first-round picks at the current time of the trade. Their second-round pick could be better than any of these guys' trades at the current time of the trade. That can change throughout the season, and that could be something the Bengals, implement in there. But I still look back to the point that the Cowboys need Trey Hendrickson more than the 49ers need him. The Cowboys need Trey Hendrickson more than the Colts need him. The Cowboys need Trey Hendrickson more than the Eagles do, because their defense is the reason this team is not succeeding. Their offense is arguably the best one in the National Football League, and yet you're 2 wins into Week 7 here. It's not the way the season should be going, and the way that Dak Prescott, Javonte Williams, George Pickens, and now getting CeeDee Lamb back, it's not the way this team should be playing whatsoever. The hope is you can turn it around. The hope is the defense can figure it out, but if they need a little kick in the pants, guess what? Trey Hendrickson can be the guy with the foot to do so. And I think he would do so really, really quickly. So let me know your thoughts in the comment section on all this. Do you think Trey Hendrickson would be a good fit in Dallas? Is he worth a first-round pick? What would you give up for him? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section. For now, though, that's all we got today. We appreciate you. Hope you have a great Friday. We'll see you next time here on Cowboys Digest. Peace out.